And yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and this is the Weekly Updates. As always, very first link down below is Weekly Shonen Jump. Please check it out. Basically, immediately, you're gonna see that I don't know this is the penultimate chapter of My Hero. Don't worry about that. I know that now. I'm actually very happy with it being like, this is the 10-year anniversary chapter, and presumably it's like the last time we're gonna get the cover and whatnot. Maybe next week we'll get it again. That's something I think only Bleach has ever been able to do, do 2 in a row. But even Bleach did not get the cover for its final chapter. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I think this is a perfect final cover, even if it's not the, for the final chapter. This chapter as well felt like such a perfect epilogue chapter. Really, really, really happy that we were able to nail the landing on this one. And so whatever we do for the final chapter, I'm totally fine with it. Apart from that, I would say most improved series right now goes to Yokai Buster Murakami. I mean, it's been pretty regular in terms of for this entire first volume or so, laying out different layers of we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, and everyone has been a hit to me. Really, just chapter 3 was the only time I was not super into the series. Ever since then, it has been a rolling legacy of okay, this is a great thing. This is a great concept for a chapter. This is a great concept for a chapter. This is, for all of these types of chapters, I'd love to see more of them. This was, of course, our first big Kuin focus arc, as well as our first big Kuin can be, the femboy that everyone thirsts over. Very happy about that. It's truly untapped potential. I feel like most Jump series are too cowardly to really, really go into that, Yusei Matsui being a big exception. But yeah, very, very, very happy with Murakami right now. Especially since a lot of the other series have already dropped. I've already done a hard not super into this. I thought I was going to do that with Astro Royale, but this chapter did convince me to stick around just a bit longer. I'm really hoping the next arc is better. That's really it. This chapter was really solid, and it was selling me on the characters more, but it felt I don't know, a lot of Astro Royale, especially this arc, has felt very course-correcty. It's felt very we have so much to show you, but what's going to appeal to the fans right now? What do we have to do in order to set up stuff later on? That's kind of the vibe I get from it. It feels like it might be a little too overplanned, if that makes any sense. I mean, I said this at the start as well. But, early 2000s, 90s as well, a lot of manga had that feeling of, this is definitely not planned out. So the mangaka is going by the seat of their pants for, a big chunk of it. And some of this might be planned out, or, certain characters' arcs might be planned out. Or even, the beginning and the end might be planned out, but the middle's kind of waffly. And that's not bad necessarily, but I can see why, a lot of more modern series definitely have a much clearer plan to them. The spirit of the unplanned series tends to live on more so in Twitter manga and web original manga, where they start off as a real this is just a goof I'm doing, and then they kind of turn into a oh crap, this is a thing people are buying, this is a thing that people are picking up. I should really have more than 5 ideas for this. Astro Royale feels, honestly, Tokyo Revengers felt kind of like that. Even though I do think, looking back on it, I would categorize it in my head. I haven't read anything from the mangaka, but I would categorize it as a real, he knew the ending from the very start. And he knew, the general idea, but how we did each of those individual arcs, I think was waffly as to whether, how he meant to introduce them, or, what the focus was going to be on each, layer of it. There's certain things that kind of just get dropped. There are things that feel that feel like a real weird intro, and it's kind of stuff that I don't know if I would say that's planned or not. Each of the various new factions that suddenly show up and go, we were here all along. That is the kind of thing that I think was probably planned. It was just a real it doesn't matter. We don't need to foreshadow these people because they're supposed to be surprising anyways. I guess that's the best way I would put it, is that whereas, Tokyo Revengers has a very, oh, we're doing this. Okay, we're doing this. Oh, okay, that seems like it could have been an ending, but no, actually, we gotta keep going. The butterfly effect hasn't been stopped. We still haven't gotten to the very end of all the mysteries. Astro Royale feels like a real, like, the Shio arc, let's call it. Like, I don't think that's going to be the entire series, but it seems very clear, like, what we are doing here with, the Hawk faction, with Shio, and, like, this arc in particular, but even, like, a lot of the previous arcs have felt very much like we are putting things into place. We need to introduce this character because they are a part of the team. We need to introduce this character because they will be an ally. We need to introduce these guys because they are going to be the antagonists of this bit. But it doesn't have that sense to me of, like, these are all conceptualized as being their own great arcs that people are going to remember, that are going to be, like, very, like, on their own. They're going to stand out as being great. They feel like even in the moment they are written as clear, like, we need to do this so we can introduce this character. Like, how do I put this? I suppose, like, as a contrast to what I'm talking about, consider One Piece, in that, like, each of the individual arcs that we do to introduce each of the Straw Hats works quite well as, like, an adventure of its own. They are simultaneously, like, it's very obvious, like, okay, we're trying to get this person, we're trying to get this person, but they stand alone a lot better as just, like, satisfying little arcs of their own that are just, like, fun things. Whereas in Astro Royale, it's clearly trying to do that, but there's a lot of stuff, especially this last arc, that's felt very, like, you're going to like this little girl, you're going to hate these guys, you're going to, want to see this guy's Astro, and so we're gonna do this whole bit in order to go get it, and then you can see it, and it's gonna be cool. It just... It feels weird to say. I guess what I'm coming down to is it feels too artificial, and it feels too like we're waiting to do the good arc. When, like, the ideal, I think, for any manga would be they're all the good arc. And then as you keep going forward, you realize, oh, this one's better than the last one. This one's better than the last one. Anytime it feels like I'm kind of doing homework is, that's a bit rough. That's a bit of a rough sell. I think that's why Murakami has been so good by contrast. It's very different because it's a gag manga, but for each of them, they are simultaneously, like, each chapter is doing the work of saying, this is a kind of chapter we can do. This is a kind of chapter we can do here. We've been neglecting Kuin, so let's do a two-parter where you really get to understand Kuin and why he's cool. But with each of those, it doesn't feel like a template. It doesn't feel like we have to do this. It feels like, oh, this is exciting. This is exactly what I am here for. I didn't even know I wanted this, but now that I've seen it, I'm happy we got it. This should have probably been in the Astro Royale section, but I don't know. It's been bothering me since I finished recording it, and I wanted to get it out somewhere. Anyways, apart from that, Undead Unluck is banging. I'm excited to see where we go with One Piece next. That's about it. Thank you for listening to the ramble. If you did not stick around for it, that's also totally fine. Also, I've been very, like, random on whether I do subtitles. It really comes down to, do I have time? Like, did I put off the reaction for too long? / did I, have trouble with it? With this one, I was able to, it's like Thursday right now. But I was, I had it mostly complete on Wednesday, but I still needed to render it overnight. So I was like, okay, I'll also render some subtitles. The subtitles will come whenever. Okay, that's that. I will catch you on the flip side, and I want to do a stream for the final chapter of My Hero. I'd like to do that next week. We will see how it goes. I'll announce it on the server, because that's also where I do my streams. If I don't say anything, it's not happening. But I would really like to do one. And we'll see how it goes. Like, honestly, if I could do it on Sunday, I might do a quick, like, hey, guys, we're squeezing it in on Sunday. You better read the chapter. We'll see. Honestly, I might also even do it on Tuesday if it has to line up like that. It depends. Okay, that's that. Catch you later. Bye for now. Yeah.